host, Neil Johnson. Excited to be with you and excited to share the news with you. And folks, this is going to be a quick one, and I won't really be able to do anything else today because my son is now a homeowner. I'm so excited for him, so I got to help him move. Excited to have that opportunity to do that for my son and daughter-in-law. But I did want to get this out quick because obviously something big happened last night. How many of you have heard of the big thing that happened last night in the news, which is going to actually result in an epic news day today? So, Jan, good to see you on. Please do smash that like, do chat in with where you're from. By the way, Michelle, my mod, sent me an article yesterday. Apparently, Jerome Powell has been criminally referred for alleged perjury about $2.5 billion building renovation. Yeah, Jerome Powell. I think it might be time for him to quit. All right. Anyways, so for those who didn't know, the Wall Street Journal ran a fake news story. Now, this is actually, it's almost like Trump pulled some crazy rope-a-dope with the Epstein. And this is why people never should have been freaking out about this in the first place. And now every Democrat has been calling for it. And now Pam Bondi is going to be releasing grand jury stuff, which, by the way, in the grand jury, I mean, I think Bill Clinton was in that. There was a number of things, folks. So this is going to get kind of interesting. Okay. So let me ask you a question. In all seriousness, before I get into this Wall Street Journal article, how many of you in my lovely audience think that Donald Trump is going to be implicated on grand jury testimony involving Jeffrey Epstein? How many of you think he's going to be implicated? Yes or no? I mean, you think, oh yeah, that's it. That's why it's been so hard to get this information. It's just freaking nuts. I can't believe, and I've said this before, after all the fake news stories, after all the fake, I don't even get where people are coming from. Like, they're actually still believing this crap. Blows my mind. It just absolutely blows my mind. And now, Dan Scavino, is always releasing these cryptic posts, released one that said karma. Karma. What goes around comes around kind of thing. Because this isn't going to work out right for them. It's not. And it's kind of interesting. It's almost like Trump did his thing where he plays the media to bring all this attention to an issue, to find out who's for him, who's against him, and then also to bring that national attention to it so that when he releases what he wants to or produces the news he wants to, everybody is going to be watching. Blows my mind. Trump always does this. He always plays them. It's very fascinating. He's big into that art of war thing. Anyways, here it is from the Wall Street Journal. Jeffrey Epstein's friends sent him body letters for a 50th birthday album. One of them was from Donald Trump. So let's go to the fake news story first, then we'll go to Trump's response. It was Jeffrey Epstein's 50th birthday, and Ghislaine Maxwell was preparing a special gift to mark the occasion. She turned to Epstein's family and friends. One of them was Donald Trump. This was reported in the Wall Street Journal. Maxwell collected letters from Trump and dozens of Epstein's other associates for a 2003 birthday album, according to documents reviewed by the Wall Street Journal. Pages from the leather-bound album, assembled before Epstein was first arrested in 2006, are among the documents examined by Justice Department officials who investigated Epstein and Maxwell years ago, according to people who have reviewed the pages. It's unclear if any of the pages are part of the Trump administration's recent review. The president's past relation with Epstein is a sensitive moment. The Justice Department documents, the so-called Epstein files, and who or what is in them are at the center of a storm consuming the Trump administration on Wednesday after angry comments about how the files are a hoax created by Democrats. President Trump lashed out at his own supporters for refusing to let the matter go. The letter bearing Trump's name, which was reviewed by the Journal, is bawdy. Like others in the album, it contains several lines of typewritten text framed by the outline of a naked woman, which appears to be hand-drawn with a heavy marker. I didn't know Donald Trump was an artist. I thought that was Hunter's gig. A pair of small arcs denotes the woman's breasts. So now Trump is into small-breasted women. And the future president's signature is a squiggly Donald below her waist, mimicking pubic hair. The letter concludes, "Happy birthday, and may every day be another wonderful secret." In an interview with the Journal on Tuesday evening, Trump denied writing the letter or drawing the picture. Okay. Now, we're going to go to President Donald Trump's response to this. The Wall Street Journal is about to pay out some money. Trump has beaten all of these, won all of his defamation cases against the media recently. You've probably noticed that. So here we go. The Wall Street Journal and Rupert Murdoch, this was straight from Donald Trump's Truth Social post. The Wall Street Journal and Rupert Murdoch personally were warned directly by President Donald J. Trump that the supposed letter they printed by President Trump to Epstein was a fake. And if they print it, they will be sued. Mr. Murdoch stated that he would take care of it, but obviously did not have the power to do so. The editor of the Wall Street Journal, Emma Tucker, was told directly by Carolyn Leavitt and by President Trump that the letter was a fake, but Emma Tucker did not want to hear that. Instead, they are going with a false, malicious, and defamatory story. Anyways, President Trump will be suing the Wall Street Journal, News Corp, and Mr. Murdoch shortly. The press has to learn to be truthful. Let me ask this question. Do you guys think the press will learn to be truthful? Just curious. I'm talking mainstream news outlets. Do you think they're going to learn to be truthful? And this also goes for those in the right-wing Twitter sphere, podcast sphere. Do you think that they will learn to quit collecting loose facts and making a false narrative? Do you think that they'll learn? I don't know. Everybody seems like, wait, okay, folks, you do know that Kash Patel likes an Israeli woman. And somehow she's like bad. And that makes Kash an Israeli agent in the United States. This is what people do. I'm telling you. Connect these dots. Maybe he fell in love with a woman from Israel. Oh gosh. Maybe if they go broke, it might be the only hope, Jan. I just don't, stuff is wild to me. The editor of the Wall Street Journal, didn't want to hear it, said they ran the false moment. Okay. Trump will be sued. The press has to learn to be truthful and not rely on sources that probably don't even exist. President Trump has already beaten George Stephanopoulos in ABC, 60 Minutes CBS, and others, and looks forward to suing and holding accountable the once great Wall Street Journal. It has truly turned out to be a disgusting and filthy rag, and writing defamatory lies like this shows their desperation to remain relevant. If there were any truth at all on the Epstein hoax as it pertains to President Trump, this information would have been revealed by Comey, Brennan, Crooked Hillary, and other radical left lunatics years ago. It certainly would not have sat in a file waiting for Trump to have won 3 elections. This is yet another example of fake news. Does anybody out there, I've said this, oh gosh, I've said this all along. Does anybody out there believe that the deep state apparatus had all the goods on Trump, but instead they decided not to go with that. Instead, they just decided to search Melania's underwear drawer. Just just oh gosh. You know, it's so funny. I find this interesting because my evolution in this, you guys know, I told you, I didn't even caucus for President Trump. I was opposed to Trump back in 2016. I did end up voting for him because what were you going to do? Vote for Hillary? And I was concerned about his tariff policies initially. And then I learned that Trump was like a president who actually did what he said he was going to do. And so I kind of came around. Now, what's interesting about this is, so I had this evolution and I continue to look at the information coming across. And you guys know that I broke with Trump. I didn't want those bills signed in his first administration towards the end on the COVID policy in terms of, giving away all the free money. I broke with him on that. I do not hold it against anybody who took one of the PPP loans or anything, because once the money's been allocated, you can either have it go to, people you know or people you don't know or whatever. I mean, I didn't hold it against anybody because now at that point, they have all this money in the program. They're going to give it away. So either you're on the receiving end of inflation or you're on the receiving end of those dollars. I hold nothing against these people. But I broke with him on that. So whatever. But I have consistently seen that the press lies about the guy. They've just consistently lied. I mean, you guys remember the suckers and losers, the Russia collusion, the PP tape hoax, it's just on and on. Okay, we can go on and on forever about all the fake stories. Remember the bleach? Oh, the bleach hoax. I constantly, and yet people still buy the fake news crap. I just don't get it. And so I've just learned that I don't trust anything the fake news says about Donald Trump. And I had this evolution and I continued to see that they were wrong and he was right. That doesn't mean he's right all the time, okay? Just whatever. Right now, if you are to believe the polls out there, the last poll from Reuters said that Trump's down 13 points. Economist YouGov says Trump's down 11 points. Yet Rasmussen Reports has it at a tie. Now, who's right? Okay? And the reality is it shouldn't even be a tie. And I believe Rasmussen's probably about right on the numbers. But it shouldn't even be a tie. But people still buy this crap. Oh gosh. Another thing. Folks, the Babylon Bee, I gotta recommend a video to you, and it's on my X account. So just go to @NeilEJohnson on X. It was the last thing I posted, so it'll be right below the pinned tweet. Go to my @NeilEJohnson on X. Because I wanted to share it over there. I didn't want to, steal their thunder. They made the best video ever that they've ever made. And it is a liberal time traveler who goes back in time to kill Hitler. Maybe some of you have seen this video. If anybody's seen it, you can comment, because it was so shockingly accurate that it almost wasn't funny as you watched it, even though it is kind of funny. It was just so good. But what's really interesting is you've got people responding to this. And I love this. So some guy responded about, current Israeli policies on Gaza being like Nazis. So Tabletop Joe asked this question to the AI that this person was asking questions to. And he said, why does the Hamas government call for the complete destruction of Israel and death to Jews around the world? Why has it not removed its charter calling for the eradication of Israel? Why are Gazans taught that raping non-Muslims is not really rape? And then it was this Ask Perplexity AI. So this guy who's trying to game you and show you how, the Jews are bad with an AI, this is the AI's answer. Hey there, to answer the question about Hamas's goals, the group's founding 1988 charter does call for the destruction of Israel and contains anti-Semitic language. In 2017, Hamas released a revised document that softened some of its language and accepted the idea of a temporary Palestinian state along the 1967 borders. However, this document did not recognize Israel's right to exist and did not officially revoke the original 1988 charter, which is why critics maintain the group's core ideology is unchanged. Regarding what's taught in Gaza, while many organizations have documented that Hamas runs schools and media, promote extremist ideology, and incite violence, specific and highly inflammatory claims can be difficult to verify. Okay? So, there you have it. They want to destroy them, and it is absolutely the best. Here, I'm going to go kind of ghetto here. I'm going to show you one clip out of this, but you guys have got to go watch the whole thing. Okay. Right, I think.
Me too.
Great ideas.
You want to use government?
We will be able to take that.
Okay, here. So I'm going to just show you this one part of this video, but you got to go watch the whole thing. It's only 4 minutes and 35 seconds long. It's the Babylon Bee. It's up on my X account. Go check it out. I'm serious. Okay. Really easy because it's the last one I posted. Okay. It's epic.
At the White House, and we will be able to use the government to force people to follow our great ideas.
You want to use government power to force your ideas on the populace. Me too. That's fantastic.
What? No. You and I have nothing in common. What I'm saying is there are people in our time with dangerous ideas, and we need to silence them.
Silencing those who disagree.
I mean, folks, it's the best video the Babylon Bee has ever done. Yeah, I noticed the Wall Street Journal was getting a lot of cancellations, so it's going to cost them more than one way running this false defamatory story. It's going to cost them in lost subscriptions, but then it's also going to cost them as they lose to Trump in court. So, anyways, I love y'all. Keep fighting the good fight. It's going to be an interesting news day because it's going to be a wild news day. And I'm not even going to be around for it, folks. I'm going to be helping my son move. So, but please go check out that video. Again, it's just at Neil E. Johnson on X. You can see it. It's my last post up there. So, all right. Love y'all. Keep fighting the good fight. Peace out.